It's Monday, and you know what that means. For one more time this season, it's IndyCar Night in America. IndyCars in Texas. As Forrest Gump would say, they go together like peas and carrots. In fact, it's hard to imagine IndyCar without any Texas influence whatsoever. IndyCar has been visiting the state on and off for almost 75 years, starting in 1947 and running to 1950. AAA held 5 races in the Arlington, Texas area. From 51-72, the series did not return to Texas, but when USAC did in 73, they were greeted with a racetrack sized appropriately for the wide open spaces of the West. Located in College Station was built the Texas World Speedway, a 22-degree banked 2-mile superspeedway. IndyCar quickly found a home here, and as technology of the time progressed, so did the speed and danger. From 73 to 79, USAC held 9 races here, 6 of which were won by Texas native sons A.J. Foyt and Johnny Rutherford. But disrepair and safety concerns led it to being dropped from the 1980 schedule. IndyCar did not return to Texas until a pairing of necessity occurred between the newly constructed Texas Motor Speedway and the newly formed all-oval open-wheel series, the Indy Racing League. Texas Motor Speedway made a huge commitment to the IRL, offering 2 events per season, with the first race being held in prime time and scheduled immediately after the Indy 500, with the second race being held during the daytime as the final race of the year to crown a series champion. The pairing paid immediate dividends. For the first race, a paid attendance of over 150,000, second only to that year's Indy 500, witnessed a thrilling multi-lap, side-by-side on-track battle between Tony Stewart and Buddy Lazier, which would be a preview of a style of racing that would become a trademark of the series for the next 15 years. On top of all that action was an infamous post-race fight that broke out in Victory Lane between 2-time Indy 500 winner Arie Luyendyk and 4-time Indy 500 winner A.J. Foyt over who really won the race. Due to a scoring gaffe by USAC, the win was awarded to Foyt's driver Billy Boat. But following a review of the race, it was discovered that Luyendyk held an entire lap lead over the whole field and was later awarded the win, leading to the end of USAC as a sanctioning body of the sport. The pairing between IndyCar and the Texas Motor Speedway remains strong to this day, as Texas remains one of the few ovals on the schedule and as one of the few original venues that signed on to the IRL in the mid-90s. To date, since the birth of the IRL, Texas Motor Speedway has posted more IndyCar oval races than any other track. That includes Indianapolis, a number that looks to grow well into the foreseeable future. Hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Gazzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of the 12th and final round of the Monday Night Indy Split from the Texas Motor Speedway. Joining me again for expert analysis in the booth from the NHR eSports team in the Lionheart IndyCar Series is Stephen Larkamp. And well, Stephen, the question I was going to ask you seems kind of moot right now because our points leader, Chris Demerit, is not in the lineup. So what do we expect tonight?
Well, with Chris Demerit out of the running, I was leaning to looking into the point situation going into this race. I had a feeling that Demerit would likely take it easy, of course, go for the win if the opportunity arose for it, as you would naturally expect of a driver of his caliber. But with him not here, there's certainly a lot of possibility for a first-time winner on the broadcast and maybe a repeat winner from old. We are seeing some familiar names, of course, and they are going to be licking their chops at one last opportunity to go out with a bang here at Texas Motor Speedway to crown off the season with a win. And I'm pretty certain that this is going to lead to a lot of action tonight. I was kind of worried that that it may not be that may be something that maybe a bit more on the forgettable side. I don't think that's going to happen now, given what I'm seeing.
There you see the about a minute left in qualifying. 213.888 by Adriano Pinheiro is your current provisional pole sitter, well below the track average. In fact, that is about the speed that these IR18s really do turn here in real life, which is pretty accurate. I believe the races they had here over this spring was about the 215 range, even with that nasty PJ1 they decided to spray down. But let's give you a little readout here on kind of what the track records here, because CART visited here, which a lot of people forget about. CART had an ill-fated stop at Texas in 2001, so we have yet another track with multiple IndyCar track records. We have also conflicting track lengths. NASCAR is sticking to 1.5 mile distance, while CART used 1.482 miles and IndyCar used 1.44. I don't know why the variable, but it still exists. So the fastest lap ever at Texas was set by CART qualifying that's the only official laps they turned that entire weekend on the old TMS configuration. So it's before the current configuration that we're at now. The lap was turned by 1999 Indy 500 winner Kenny Breck with a speed of 233.447 miles per per hour around this quad oval. That's just blindingly fast. The IndyCar track record was set in 2017 and is held by Charlie Kimball, of all people, on the Speedway's current configuration with a speed of 222.556. So let's stand by in the garage area. It's time to go racing. With that time, it's to look at tonight's starting lineup from Texas.
Adriano Pinheiro, one of the top 3 in the championship in Division 1 right now, is on the pole with a 24.577. Alongside him, the number 3 machine is our old friend Pablo Diaz-Francis, hoping for one last chance to snucker a win and probably close up on Chris DeMeritt in the championship standings as it stands. Gonzalo Romero's number 10 lines up third alongside the 11 of Dakota DeMague. Thomas Geisler's number 9 machine will be alongside Trace Shadid in the number 5, 5th, and 6th. John Silva will roll off 7th in the number 12 machine alongside the 7 of Tony Pizarro. 9th position, Gaetano Papalardo, and I do apologize if I butchered that name. In the number 19
love it,
machine.
man. I love the name, though. If we were saying it right, that's awesome.
That is an awesome name, not going to lie. Alongside the number 14 of Matthew Mercer, Mr. Consistency, as we've discussed a little bit before the broadcast. Dylan Moskowitz in the number 4 machine rolls off 11th alongside the number 8 of Alexandre Rigon, another figure that pops up in the picture every now and then. Hopefully he'll get a good run tonight. The number 20 of Beto Sousa will roll off 13th alongside the 13 machine of Adriano Fraporti starting 14th. Christian Hassan in the number 21, and Jesper Orman in the number 2, 15th, and 16th. Cameron Balstian, that is certainly not a name I'm familiar with, in the number 15, alongside the number 17 of Joao Ritter, 17th and 18th. Valmore Arnhart will be rolling off 22nd alongside the first of the drivers that did not qualify, the 6 of TJ Mayshu. And rolling off on the final row of the grid, Nick Nabins, number 16, and Chris Gilbert in the number 18.
Nick's undoubtedly probably streaming on Twitch or YouTube tonight, so if anyone's stopped by his stream, be sure to let him know that we said hi here in the booth. Currently, we got the camera on Dakota DeMaide, as you saw the commercial before the start of the broadcast here. He is the creator of Voltic Pistol. It's a video game. It is on sale this week at Steam for $1.99, and for another 99 cents you can get all the DLC for it. So if you like the old classic scrollers and platformers from days of old, this one is right down your alley for $1.99 plus another 99 cents for, get all the DLC for everything under $3. There you go, check it out. Voltic Pistol, and your creator right there is in the number 4 spot, Dakota DeMaide here on the starting lineup. And I'm noticing in chat, we got a pair of eyes that got posted, and it's the name next to it is Christopher DeMeritt. So he has identified himself as watching from home as we're getting ready to go green.
Well, Chris, hope you enjoy the show. It's just a shame for us that you're not going to be here in it. But who knows, maybe it's someone other than you that gets the win tonight, even though we've certainly enjoyed talking to you over the course of the season. But now we are getting ready. It's almost time to bring this championship battle to heel. The pace car peels off. Pinheiro, holding them back, gets his foot down. Green flag flies. We are underway at Texas Motor Speedway. Big jump for him. And Gonzalo Romero already alongside Pablo Diaz-Francis for second as they head to turn 1.
Now Romero and Pablo Diaz-Francis, I believe those are teammates. They got to tread nicely next to your teammate. Of course, the next 2 cars are also teammates. Oh, we got a car spinning on the backstretch.
Oh, that is Gaetano Papalardo. Just a shame that guy with such an awesome name loses it on lap 1.
And it just, we'll just go ahead and take a real quick look at it here. Since we got time, and we're not even to lap 1, and believe me, I don't think anyone's really going to pit because it's simply too early. Let's check out what happened.
Okay, he just lost it on his own on negative 2.
It's one of those things that coming up to speed, maybe just set a little too much weight jacker in the car to start, but if you do take these corners a little shallow and you're not got those temperatures up to speed, that will cause your car to get a little loose, and that's could have been what happened there. Any number of things can happen. Hopefully you can get that repaired and back underway, but we are under yellow here, lap 1 at Texas.
And that's always something you gotta be wary of on starts, especially here at a track like TMS, where the corners are not similar to each other, turns 1 and 2 have rather flat banking compared to 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is the original configuration that TMS was in when the track was built in the 90s. But 1 and 2 are now in a reconfigured setting that came about in the 2010s. It's been met with a fair bit of criticism, shall I say, being diplomatic about it. But it's one thing you certainly got. Oh,
sorry, yeah, we got a pump fake going on there. Okay, so the Nikkei Warriors guys are trying to get the rest of the field to follow them down pit lane. Had me fooled there for a second.
Sneaky boys there trying to throw some of our competitors for a loop tonight, but again, a bit early to be considering coming in for a pit stop, only working lap 3 of 75.
Even if they did pit now, they'd still have to pit again. So remember, it's 75 was it 85 lap race, so about 75 laps, excuse me. So about 25 laps, 24 laps is when they'll probably start seeing the window open to get to the finish. I am seeing there from Chris in chat that says that he got a weird quality issue during practice and didn't want a chance dropping out or blinking. Otherwise, he would be there. So maybe we'll see him in another split race here later in the evening. But it will not be on the broadcast. But hey, man, thanks for joining us. If you haven't done so already, why don't you just give us a thumbs up, since we've been talking about you so much all night long. We could use that extra thumbs up. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a shame you're not here, Chris, but it's great you're here watching, and hopefully you'll be around later this week to seal this Division I championship. For those keeping track of the points right now, going into this race, Demerit had a 180-point lead going into this event. Now, if you follow a lot of other forms of racing, you may think 180, that's like completely insurmountable, right?
No.
Not necessarily, because of the way iRacing's point system works, there is no set number of points that a driver can attain from winning a race. It's all down to the average I rating of all the drivers in the split. So a higher I rating average, the more points on offer. And that's why I'm sure Demerit wanted to be here tonight, because we get a high number of points from this event, from the great level of talent we've got here tonight. It's still a pretty wide factor there, but 183 is not insurmountable. I've seen points upwards of over 200 for wins in the IndyCar Series, and a lot of other series in general with high rated drivers. So it's definitely not signed, sealed, and delivered for Christopher Demerit as of tonight, but hopefully he can get in there and get some points on the board and hopefully seal the deal in his own right. Sadly, we won't be crowning a champion here on the Monday night broadcast, as much as we'd love to.
No champagne tonight. We'll just put it on chill for another evening. Getting not quite ready to go green yet. Got the lights on the pace car for yet another lap. Would like to run this by everybody really quick. Since this is our last broadcast of this season, hey, we love bringing these record races to you, and they're not easy, and they require time and money to produce. And we have brought you the coverage of this season for free out of our love of iRacing and our passion for the sport of IndyCar. So if you are passionate as we are and would like to see race first coverage of the Monday night split, Monday night Indy split continue again for next season, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. You'll see the URL in the bottom of your screen. You'll also see it in the description. The link is also, like I said, in the description. And donate to our Season 1 2022 Monday Night Indy Split Broadcast Fund. Please donate and let us know that you'd like to see our coverage continue beyond this season. We do realize we're in the middle of the holidays. Times are tough, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us a part of your Monday evening for these last 12 weeks. Thank you very much. It means a lot to have us come into your bedrooms via your phones, your computers, your desktops, what have you. But thank you very much. And if you appreciated our coverage, go ahead and contribute if you can. So that's all in the description there. Click on it, and any little bit is appreciated. And I do believe next season's schedule has been posted in, it's not official, but it's been posted in the iRacing forums. And I believe they will be starting off with a Michigan-Indianapolis combo to start the next season. So season 1 of 2022, Michigan and Indianapolis, your 1 and 2 for the first 2 races of the season.
Well, if you want speed, you're certainly going to get at those 2 tracks. And you want good racing as well. So it would be really exciting to cover those events next season. So all the more reason we'd love your support going into season 1 of 2022 as the lights are out on the pace car. Everyone getting ready behind Adriano Pinheiro, Gonzalo Romero, Pablo Diaz-Francis, Thomas Geisler, and Dakota DeMeg are your top 5. Pace car peels off. Pinheiro again stacking him a little bit and then gets underway. Green flag flies. Let's see if the 2 teammates can do something about his lead.
Currently riding on the nose of Romero at the moment as he's down low in turns 1 and 2 on the exit, coming out wide, feathers it a little bit. Currently, though, trying to get into the draft of Pinheiro and his teammate, PDF, on the outside. Probably going to get this pass almost completed, not quite, as we are getting ready to come back into the quad oval area where it gets awfully tight.
But yeah, but Romero bobbles a little bit coming off of 4, and he does yield that position to his teammate. Good on them, not pushing each other too hard, at least, hopefully not for the moment. But Romero, again, getting a run on that high line. You could certainly do that. Looks down low. I'm not too sure if I'd be happy about this as a team.
I mean, that's like, a little
we want to
aggressive
focus more on catching that guy ahead of us.
That's a little aggressive for like the 3rd green flag lap of this race, especially with your teammate. Remember, rule 1 of racing with teammates: don't wreck your teammate. Rule 2 of racing with teammates: see rule 1.
Yes.
And if you can subscribe to those, you'll have very happy teammates around you. But if not, ooh, he's going to slide right in front of him there, give him a little arrow wash. I'm sure he's not going to like that, but he's back underway. And looks like they are starting to get organized a little bit and starting to run down Pinheiro just a tick.
Trying to catch him a little bit there as Romero leading the charge. Working that higher line, and that is certainly workable here in the iRacing service. We don't have quite as much of the much of that adhesive material that they use for NASCAR events here, dunking up the tires on the Indy cars. They really do not like that. But you are able to run a sort of middle groove here in 1 and 2 to give yourself momentum, especially when the guy in front of you is using the low line, and it becomes once again a game of find the clean air for as much downforce as you can possibly get on corner entry and giving yourself the best possible run you can through the middle and exit.
Here's a good battle for P8 and 9. John Silva, Matthew Mercer going into turn 3 side by side. Looks like Mercer is going to not quite pull this one off. Gets a nose ahead into the exit of 4. Tightens up there a little bit. Side by side through that quad oval area. It feels like that it's just you're trying to thread a needle, you know, an eye of the needle.
Here comes Pablo Diaz-Francis. Meanwhile, in that battle for second there, Romero had a bobble. Oh, he bobbled off the apron there, and he does yield that position. But I saw him scrambling for grip coming off of turn number 2.
Caution is out. Joe Ritter. Looks like in turns 3 and 4, something happened to him. He is coming to a rest. Let's see if we can't get a replay of what happened there. Still a little early for people to be pitting, so we're going to see if possibly...
that was looking at it from my perspective, that was a netcode incident.
Yeah, Christian
with
Hassan.
The 21 of Christian Hassan.
Oh, talk about a phantom wheel that didn't exist. That is just one of those, yeah. Remember,
the invisible
folks,
hand of the netcode strikes once more, unfortunately.
The invisible hand of netcode, indeed. Remember, IndyCar probably suffers the most netcode incidents per incident of any other series here on the service, just because of how fast these cars are. And of course, iRacing is using a predictive code to predict a collision. And well, iRacing was a little ahead of itself and was predicting a collision there. It never happened. It looked like there was a full wheel, and unfortunately, it's going to put a quick end to Joe Ritter's day. Of course, Joe was the winner of the Race First Indy Challenge Season 1 from last year, and we always want to make sure and point that out because he did a good job for us at Race First, and we want to thank him for participating in that series. So he was the defending champ. Maybe we'll get around to doing that series again. Looks like we do have some people coming down pit road. One of those is Gonzalo Romero. Still a little early. I'm wondering if maybe he's going to play the long game now. I don't know if he's going to have enough fuel in the tank to really do that, though. He's going to might have to stop again.
I don't think so either, unless there's going to be a few more cautions coming out, which is certainly possible, no doubt about that. But this is an interesting split strategy from these guys, trying to have one car in Pablo Diaz-Francis stay out there and put pressure on Pinheiro, and another one as a sort of backup of sorts in case things don't go Francis's way strategy-wise, and that's basically what I see them doing with Gonzalo Romero's car.
Jesper Orman with the Three Crowns team, also on pit road. He is currently coming off We have Valmort Arnhart also on pit road. Chris Gilbert also on pit road. Nick Neben also on pit road. Everyone making stops on that particular lap right there, and they still all have to go again, but they're throwing a dice for a different type of strategy, it looks like.
Certainly an interesting call. We'll see how that one pans out there. It's an interesting gamble, and if something goes wrong, I'm sure that that they'd be regretting it, but they made the bet, and now they're going to have to lay in it.
Yeah, they got a long time to have to lay in that. Only lap 15 this time, coming by it on the start-finish line of 75 here at the round 12 of the final night, the final event of the Monday Night Indy Top Split here of the official week 12 of the iRacing official series. We'll have an off week next week, and then if all goes well, we'll hopefully pick back up things here in a couple weeks for week 1 of season 1 2022, which is tentatively set to be Michigan at the moment.
Of course, subject to change. Of course, iRacing has not themselves posted the official schedule for next season, but once we do, we will certainly have that news for you, and we'll be looking forward to covering it wherever we may go.
Well, I believe you'll be thrilled to know that one of the tracks that I did see on the tentative schedule was Watkins Glen, and of course the big news this week, Watkins Glen rescan coming available here real soon. So those of you that have been after a Watkins Glen rescan, that is coming, as well as I think we might even have a new track that we'll see in this next build as well. I don't know if we'll see a rescanned Indianapolis. That has been promised for quite a while. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see that closer to 500 time, or maybe Brickyard, Indy GP time. Maybe that's probably maybe when they'll want to try to package it out. But as you know, though, the world does surround NASCAR when it comes to iRacing, so whenever NASCAR says it's okay to release it, I guess.
I know you guys can't see it, but I was doing a little dance in my seat on the iRacing rescanning Watkins Glen. That's something I've been looking forward to personally for a long time.
Wow.
Speaking of looking forward to, here comes some more action for you as Pinheiro gets us underway once more. Pablo Diaz-Francis, let's see if he can put the pressure on him once more and actually make a pass work, but he's also got pressure from Thomas Geisler behind him in the number 9 machine.
Yeah, PDF was right under the rear attenuator of Pinheiro there at the start. He couldn't really get any closer, to be honest with you, without making some type of contact. And then I don't know if Pinheiro kind of lulled him to sleep and took off and got a great start, but the looks like PDF is reeling him back in with 8 of the draft. Geisler was close going down the backstretch, but he has kind of lost touch with these top 2. And he's back there racing with his teammate Dakota DeMade for P3 and P4. But right now the battle is right here at the front. P1, P2, Pinheiro, and PDF.
Pinheiro trying to break the draft of Pablo Diaz-Francis going into 3 and 4. But Francis is staying with him there. And we'll see what he is going to be having a look to the high side going into turn number 1.
Now,
not quite there yet.
Not quite there. You can use a top side in 1 and 2 to get a good run down the backstretch, which look is exactly what he's doing right there. He is going to get real close. He is not going to be able to accomplish much on the high side through 3 and 4, though. And actually, Pinheiro is actually giving him a wide bumper as he's a half lane off the bottom and trying to stick that right rear out as far as possible to keep PDF at bay. Here we go back into turn 1. PDF up high, down low, Pinheiro. Pinheiro now washing up a little bit. Maybe going to give him a little bit of a bad wash, but that's going to give a good run to PDF. PDF is going to chase it to the bottom. They're going to come side by side into turn 3. And again, we're going to reset one more time as this is a repeat of the last lap.
PDF doing everything he can. He came so close to the wall in turn number 2 as they once again go side by side through the quad oval. Pinheiro holding that low line there. Francis looking to make a mistake. Running that low line certainly runs the risk of washing out close to that wall at the exit of turn number 2. That's what he's going to be looking for as Francis looks at the high side in 3 and 4.
Still not the quickest way around that way. That's one of the unique things about this track. 20 degrees at one end, 24 degrees at the other. High side at one end is fast, high side on the other end is not. And you're currently looking at the fruits of that reconfiguration on right now. Also, it's a little bit of an opposite of what you see at the newly rescanned Kentucky Speedway. Kentucky Speedway has the shallower end at the turns 3 and 4 versus the steeper ends in turns 1 and 2. and then it pretty much invites pretty much the same type of racing. So here we go, top side. This time he's going to be there. He's going to keep that wheel there. He's going to get close.
Had his nose there for a little bit there, but he's still right up on the gearbox of Pinheiro. Almost some contact there as he looks to the outside in turn number 3. Francis doing everything he can to force Pinheiro into an error. This is certainly not going to, and this certainly looks like something that's not going to end anytime soon. But meanwhile, these guys are pulling away quite substantially over Thomas Geisler and Dakota DeMague, who are already starting to begin their battle for position number 3 behind them, as Francis has got to run. He's sticking it with them on the high side into turn number 3.
This is about 5 laps of effort just to get this far.
Just shows how much work you gotta put in to make this pass for the lead work, especially when you got 2 guys who are very certainly skilled drivers on the top of their game right now. Pablo Diaz Francis, once again looking to that high side, not quite able to hold the run he had the last time by, but now once again looking to that high side there. But Pinheiro doing a good job, basically boxing him out of any chance to hold on to a run he may have and regain that lead with the way that this track is configured.
Got some lap traffic up ahead in the form of Joao Ritter, who is repaired and underway, but he is underpowered, and the leaders are going to be on him. And Pinheiro, a little squirrely coming off of turns 1 and 2. Gets sideways and allowing PDF to get right next to him.
Wow, that was hairy right there for Pinheiro, showing you what kind of pressure Francis is putting on there. And I'm thinking now, Pinheiro is doing a lot of work on those tires, especially trying to keep the car pinned down to that low line and not wash up into the wall. Maybe the tools weren't quite in the right position for him.
Going to the inside there, getting out of the way for the leaders. Right now on board with Pablo Diaz Francis. Currently in 5th gear, going to turns 3 and 4. Right there, almost making contact with the right rear with his left front wing. 5th gear, lights are blinking going into turns 1 and 2. Up on the high side, shifting down the 4th gear to keep those revs up. Trying to get another run here on the high side of Pinheiro. Going to take a look at the inside, and he gets there. He's going to get the position.
Pinheiro with the door open there, and that means Pablo Diaz Francis is your new race leader at Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of effort it definitely took, but that effort seems to be worth it right now as Pinheiro looks to get back at him, going onto the high side in turns 1 and 2.
I got to tell you, I know Demerit has himself a big lead in the championship, but he probably does not want to see this right now. This is number 2 in the championship. He's probably rooting on Pinheiro to probably get that position back. So we'll see. We still have plenty of time to go. The window to get to the finish is open. So if any of these guys want to start pitting, they can probably do so right now. We're lap 29, coming to lap 30 here soon of this 75 lap event. Keep in mind that we got some cars that are a little bit further on back that made stops at lap 15, and the highest person in that group is Jesper Orman in currently P11. He's the highest placed car with the freshest tires at the moment, and now he's at the P12. So he just cracked the top 10. So when these pit stops do cycle through, he will eventually inherit the lead for a little bit.
Very definitely in the middle of the pit stop cycle right now. This is going to be where a lot of drivers' nights are going to be made or broken. But Pinheiro, once again, looking at that high line. I saw a couple laps ago, Pablo Diaz Francis had a little bit of a twitch going through the quad oval. And all this is really saying, tire wear is certainly going to be a big factor here tonight.
Ooh. And we have a new combatant entering the picture right now. Dakota DeMague moved his way up to P3, and he is now less than a second out of this battle right now, and he's slowly working his way into the picture.
Dakota is really licking his chops right now at this, especially with the 2 leaders battling each other the way they are. And getting to the championship situation here, I'm sure Demerit would like to see Pinheiro win over Francis, but even then, that's not an ideal circumstance because Pinheiro is 3rd in the championship as it stands as he goes to the high side, coming off of turn number 2. Will he be able to get a run there? They're staying pretty even down the back straight.
How he didn't have to roll out of the throttle on exit, I don't know. I really, really don't know. Currently, fastest lap at the moment is Pizarro, 212.640. That's miles per hour, 212.640. He is your fastest lap. And we're back up to the front here. The last lap by the leaders, they are still cruising right along, 209 respectively. So about 3 miles per hour off the fastest lap, as showing these tires are certainly, the good of them is pretty much well gone.
A fact that Dakota DeMague is certainly enjoying right now if he knew the numbers for certain. But Pinheiro staying to that high side there with these two battling it out the way they are, as I see Dakota DeMague running way up on that high line, trying to get as much clean air as humanly possible.
Well, he gets some clean air, but it also gives him a great run down that backstretch, and he is within the draft envelope of those two cars right now.
It certainly does, and he is really loving the opportunity that's presented to him, especially with the two leaders so engrossed in their own battle. As Pinheiro goes to the low side in 1 and 2.
Ooh, washed up a little bit. He had to roll out of it.
Almost washed up into him. Francis has to save him from going to the wall.
PDF had to get a little squirrely coming off the wall there. Almost gets into it. Now we got DeMague really in the picture.
Very much so. He is caught right up to these two. And I'm sure he's thinking right now, do I really go for this, or do I wait for these guys to make the opportunity present itself for me, if you catch my drift?
Yeah, still a long ways to go. He is a very patient driver. He's not the guy. He's not the type of guy that I've raced with.
Pinheiro down low.
Getting that lap back, or getting that lead back. Yeah, DeMague is not the type of driver that treats every lap like the last lap in Mario Kart. He's a very patient driver, and he's just kind of reeled these guys in like a very skilled angler, and they're just rubbing the tire, the rubber off their tires, and he's just repeating lap after lap, consistent times, consistent speeds, and now he's right here in the picture as we now have a three-way battle for the lead.
Absolutely. A very methodical drive right now for Dakota DeMague, who is now close within 3/10 of Pinheiro, who currently holds that race lead once more. And I would imagine, unless Thomas Geisler is able to pick up the pace and put on pressure on him, he's not going to be compelled to be too aggressive right now. I would imagine he'll wait for the pit stop cycle and hopefully be able to try and jump these two. We'll see what strategy he's got in mind.
Well, right now he's kind of guarding the 6 of his teammate, and when I say he's guarding the 6, he's actually guarding against the 7, which is Tony Bizzarro in P5, who has all of a sudden worked his way into the picture as well. As it looks like we've had some cars do some pit stops here. The pit window is open. Some people have taken advantage of it. We haven't seen, I think John Silva might be one of those that have taken an early stop. So he is good to go to the end, but these leaders are going to probably wait till the tanks go dry before they start pulling down the pit road.
Francis once again looking to that high line in 1 and 2, not quite able to get there yet, but once again he does have that run through 3 and 4. This seems to be the pattern we're noticing right now. You can hold it. If you can hold that low line through 1 and 2, you can effectively block the driver from making a major run through 3 and 4. They can certainly get a run on exit, but by the time they get that run to get alongside them, you're already back in turn 1 and 2 again, and the cycle will ideally repeat itself if you're the lead driver. But as we've seen so far tonight, that hasn't always been the case. Both Pablo Diaz-Francis and Adriano Pinheiro have experienced that themselves, and they also got to be wary of that number 11 machine lurking behind them of Dakota DeMague, who's just taking it easy for the time being. No need to do anything drastic at the moment. We're only working lap 42 out of 75, but he's still a factor to consider as Francis once again gets that run on the high side. He's alongside him a lot more than he was the last time, but still not quite enough to get that move done.
So easy in turns 3 and 4 to clip that apron. Guys got to stay off it. Otherwise, that'll cause a big incident. 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2 with your leaders right there. Dakota up high, getting that clean air on those front wings while the two combatants in front of them just battle it out, slug fighting 1 and 2, lefts and rights, as they're trying to hold off and swap this lead back and forth.
Certainly would be a situation I would consider doing, is just wait for the opportunities to present themselves, especially since we have a pit stop and quite a few more laps to go in this race. And anything can happen with these two leaders. The way they've been battling so far, it wouldn't shock me if later on in the going, this is only going to escalate.
Yep, wondering when that pit stop's going to come. It's got to be any time now, really. They can get actually on their tanks, on their tanks just from start to finish. They can get within 25 laps of the finish. So really,
you can get about 50, 55 laps Actually,
So,
I heard
and with those yellow laps, we're looking at closer to maybe 60. So we're about 15 laps or so probably from some of these guys maybe making that jump down the pit road and getting the freshies on, because that's probably what they want the most, more than fuel, more than anything at this point.
absolutely. With the way this track is laid out, tire wear is certainly going to be a
Big
concern.
run by PDF down the backstretch.
Big run by Pablo Diaz-Francis. He once again looking everywhere he could possibly go. He has to settle for that high line, though, with Pinheiro running blockage right now. This is certainly a trend that we've been seeing all night here. And I would imagine with that seemingly aggressive mindset that Pablo Diaz-Francis has had throughout the season, he's going to be looking for any opportunity he can. He hold on to that spot and
some
try
cars
and
on
get
pit
that
road right now. Christopher Gilbert showing on pit road, as well as Christian Hassan also showing on pit road. These look to be regularly scheduled pit stops, so for a little bit further back, those guys are making their final stop of the day to get a new set of tires and enough fuel to get to the finish.
And this is one thing also that I'm considering as well. With the guys on fresh tires now, these are their money laps right now. These guys have got to run as well as they possibly can, get the fastest laps they can on these fresh tires to be able to jump the guys that they're battling with that have stayed out. And this leads me to wonder, like, how long, and with these leaders staying out as long as possible, it's leading me to wonder which one is going to be the first to blink of this lead pack.
Last time by Pinheiro, 207.135. Francis, 206.761. DeMay, 206.992. So they're about 5 to 6 miles per hour off the fast laps that were set with the fresh tires. You got to think those guys with fresh tires that are getting back on this track are going to be encountering these cars that have been on this surface now for about 50 laps. They're going to be running about 5 miles per hour, 6 miles per hour faster than them as an average lap speed.
That is a huge difference so far, and it's got to be something that a lot of the guys that are staying out have either got to think about beforehand, or they got to have something to compensate for on the fly. As Dakota DeMay, he's the first of the top three to blink. He comes in, and here comes. This may well be a demonstration of what we were talking about. Dakota DeMay is going to get those fresh tires. He is going to be blazing fast coming out of the pits, and this may well be his chance to take over that top spot.
We're riding on the roll bar right now as he comes into his stall. Hopefully he hits his marks like he does. Slides the wheels a little bit. No harm, no foul. Getting those tires off anyways. Fresh tires going on, topping off the tank just to get into the finish. He is down and away. He was in the box for about 8 seconds, 8.1 seconds. Now he's off the rev limiter, back on the apron and coming up the speed. Let's see where he re-slots in his battle as the leaders are still fighting it out up front.
Still battling up here. Adriano Pinheiro and Pablo Diaz-Francis, your two front runners all night so far. They've got to, and one thing I've got to think that they're considering right now, what kind of pace can Dakota DeMay get out of his tires, and is that going to be a threat to us? I would imagine it could very well be if they continue battling like this and they run the tank dry. But another thing to also consider as well, later on in the going, the roles are going to be reversed for DeMay. As crossover move there from Pablo Diaz-Francis, sticks his nose in on the tri-oval, looks down low, doesn't quite get the run there yet. I think he was getting tired of all the monotony of that back and forth there. I'm not playing to your script anymore, Adriano. I want to go for this.
Thomas Geisler also made his stop. Now P3 on the racetrack. Currently right there, that tide ride is Tony Bizzarro right now, all by himself in the third position. So he's getting all the best luck of aero on his car by not getting a lot of the aero push and wearing out what is already worn tires. But he's probably also getting a little benefit of the draft, although he's pretty much by himself. So we'll see how much further he can go than everyone else. He was just kind of riding back there in P5 for the longest time until the race first teammates decided to take the dump down pit road for their stop of the race. But he has been hanging on in this upper top 5 all race long. And here he is right here, P3, as the two leaders are chasing each other down one more time going into turn 3.
And I would imagine for Tony Pizarro, if I was in his situation, I would love to be able to catch these guys as Pinheiro now breaks off. He's coming on the pit road. Yeah,
I got to watch when these tires are so hot coming down off the banking, trying to slow down. Looks like he did a real good job at it. These cars can get squirrely on the back end, so he might have played a little bit with his brake bias to bring that car into a more of a controlled, slow down to the pit road speed limit, which I think is 60 miles per hour, if not 55, as he's coming down into a spot there. There's Christian Hassan pulling out in front of him there in the 21. There he is in the first spot down on pit road.
PDF is coming in as well on this lap 57.
Oh, there he goes. He's down in the way. And we're caution on the racetrack. I don't know.
In the middle of the pit cycle.
I don't know
this
who.
one? I see a car stopped in turn 1 and 2. It is Chris Gilbert.
Chris Gilbert. Let's try to get on that one. Not sure what happened.
I see Christian Hassan, actually. Christian Hassan was the one that was stopped on the bottom in 1 and 2. And he just stopped on his own. He just stopped on his own, coming off and coming out of the pits. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was the car.
And it collected a car. It collected Pinero.
They collected Pinero. Oh, no.
So let's get on board. So the caution was thrown because there was a car out on the racetrack. Let's get on to the roll bar Pinero, and he's... I don't know what's going on here. So he gets a spot. We're going to watch him. He's going to get his service done here.
So Christian Hassan was slow coming out of pit road, and Pinero...
So here we are. We're watching right now. Now the pace car is moving, but the pace car is invisible. So you can... Here comes... Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh. He had nowhere to go, and his race is, as they say, D-U-N, done. And as I was saying earlier, with the early pit stops, Jesper Orman now is your race leader.
That is...
I have no idea what happened there. I really don't. I don't know if you could hear the radio, what anyone might be saying on the radio. I have no idea what happened there between Hassan and what happened with Hassan's still showing on pit road. I don't know. Maybe we can go back in time and see what happened to him. Did he maybe have a disconnect or something?
Well, he disconnected just now, but I honestly have no idea what Christian Hassan was playing at, going that slow on the pit exit, especially when there were cars behind him. Like I really don't know why he wasn't able to drive it around.
We're riding on board with Chris Hassan. First of all, his steering is off by almost 90 degrees to the right.
Oh.
And he's coming up to speed. And he's just not able to make the corner, so he stops. And
so
now it goes yellow.
Race car.
And he starts to move for some reason.
I wonder how he got that damage, though.
And then the leader. Oh, my take is anytime you're on the race course, do not stop.
Exactly.
Maybe pull to the inside on the backstretch or something like that. But yeah, that was probably not the best choice of a place to come to a complete stop, and that really puts this field under a bunch of well, see, right now we're riding on board with our leader, Jesper Orman. There's 3 cars ahead of him that are going to get the wave around. One of which is it looks like we got Geisler, DeMade, and I'm not sure who the other car is up there. Gonzalo Romero coming off pit road, getting his final stop. He's going to join at the back end of the field here. But I'm not sure.
I'm certain that Dakota DeMade's got to be fuming at that.
Yeah. So there's Jesper Orman. Pablo Diaz-Francis, he is about 5 cars back from Orman. So Orman's going to have a ton of lap traffic help to help him. Trey Shadid now is P3. He's the 2 cars back behind PDF, and he has Tony Bizzarro, who was just among the leaders, actually was leading at one point, now showing in 15th, a lap down because of that. Valmore Arnhart showing now up in P5, for Porty showing in P6. Nick Dieben and the home stream showing as a P7 right now in the top 10 on the lead lap. Gonzalo Romero, of course, we just talked to him. Then Dakota DeMaid, who's getting the wave around right now. Looks like he's getting the wave around with, I can't see who that is.
Thomas Geisler behind and got waved around as well. And someone else got waved as well, it looked like. It's John Silva in the number 12.
John Silva, okay. So yeah, these guys are going to be really, really buried now. Some of these guys are going to have to make a stop. Certainly Orman is going to have to make a stop. He has been currently lap 48 of his current stint. Of course, a lot of that includes some caution laps. But also Dakota DeMaid now at lap 11 of his stint. Thomas Geisler lap 10 of his stint. Matthew Mercer in P11, who is now showing as the first car lap down, 10 laps under his current stint. So that yellow is going to really hurt those race first guys the most.
And what's more to consider right now is we're about to go back to green. There are actually lap cars separating Jesper Orman in the lead and Pablo Diaz-Francis in second. So they're going to have to
about 5 cars there. Yeah.
There's at least 4 lap cars between Orman and Francis as the pace car pulls off once more. Orman gets on the throttle. He's going to love the opportunity to be out in the lead, but once more, he does have that pit stop that he's going to have to deal with later on. Keeping an eye on the effective lead right now, Pablo Diaz-Francis and Trace Shadid right now running second and third.
Well, and it's 63 of 75, so 12 more laps. Can he make it 12 more laps?
It's going to be a big question there. It's going to be a good question of fuel saving right now, but I don't believe, it's a question mark right now, but I'm hesitant to say that Orman is going to be able to make it all the way to the finish. But, stranger things have happened before. Well,
and whoa, Orman getting slidey off of turn 2. Kind of collected it back underneath the white line. Still going to be your leader, but he is now struggling with a worn set of tires, and here comes everyone else with fresh tires right behind him. He now gets moved by TJ Mashaw, as well as gets bypassed by Matthew Mercer, and now he has, I'm not sure who's behind him, Cameron Bastain? Yeah, it's Cameron Bastain there. And then PDF's right behind him, and he's in the middle with a little bit of a track position battle with Dylan Moskowitz, who is not really wanting to give up that position. Here
Certainly
comes Tony
not right
Mazzaro.
now. Definitely not right now. And Orman is looking at lap times right now. I believe Orman has put it into fuel save mode right now. He's running about, he was running about a second a lap slower the last time by, but it could also be the traffic getting involved and throwing off his aerodynamics right there as Pablo Diaz-Francis is coming under pressure from more lap cars right now. Tony Pizarro looking everywhere he could possibly go to get that lap back.
This race is crazy at the moment. This time by, we're looking at speeds this time by. Last time by, Orman 210, Francis 211. Doesn't look like there's much fuel saving going on. Maybe he's just like, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I got no choice but to hope for another caution. He's got 2 guys in front of him that are racing pretty hard for a position that are lapped down. Maybe they might collect each other and he gets that caution. We'll see. But they are racing 2 wide behind him, and here comes PDF, who's now in direct contact with Orman, coming through the tri-oval, quad-oval area, going to the 1.
Nearly half a second faster is Pablo Diaz-Francis right now over Jesper Orman. I can imagine Orman right now is trying to save as much fuel as possible and trying to worry about those tires as Francis goes down low. And looks like this one will be pretty cut and dry unless Orman gives him a big fight right now. Francis down low, and he takes over the lead at Texas Motor Speedway as we are coming now to 7 laps to go. Orman tried to have a peek there, but PDF looks to have the car to beat tonight. But meanwhile, behind them, Alexander Ragon and Gonzalo Romero going 2 wide, almost in contact there themselves for 3rd place.
Now we're taking a look right here. Right now, looks like the Nikkei team's looking at a possible 2 cars in the top 5, maybe even 2 cars on the podium at the moment. We'll see as Ragon, who is teammates there to what we saw Pinero, what happened to him. He probably trying to give Bread King their best effort now with that weird showing of what happened there with the leaders. But he is trying to maintain that 3rd place and that critical podium position here to wrap up the season. Jesper Orman, last time by 2:08. He is struggling, and he's starting to actually hold up the cars behind him. They're about 4 wide behind him.
Tony Pizarro does get by him. Oh, and 3 wide behind them. Romero and Mergon splitting the lap cars, and now they're closing up hard on Orman for second place.
We're going to go 3 wide for second place here in just a moment.
Romero on the outside there, but Mergon is boxed in behind Orman. He's going to be looking everywhere he possibly can, that being Romero to get the run. He gets a massive run off the turn. Contact behind him. Orman's around, hit the wall.
There's the contact, and actually, you know what, folks? That's the race. That is
race over.
Race over.
That is race over, and unfortunately so for Jesper Orman, who was looking to make an amazing run to a podium finish after starting 16th. But the winner, the first time since Charlotte a couple of months ago, is Pablo Diaz-Francis. A great run for him tonight. A few opportunities gained, a few opportunities taken from others, and it's been a great running so far for PDM.
Yeah, it looks like Jesper had the roll out of the throttle a little bit, and it was just one of those things that I know he's going to be upset, but Ragone just kind of ran over the back of him as he had the run out of the throttle. And actually, if he can keep it going, he's under 5 laps, and even though he might have a meatball, he might be able to bring it home damaged if he's not that damaged. But man, I know he's going to be hot under the collar. He's still rolling right now, as we're showing right now under live shots. As he has left rear wobbling, a left front. Looks just as bad. Oops, trying to keep it under control there. Let's take it back up to the front, though. Pablo Diaz-Francis here is going to get the win. He just needs to complete these next 2 laps, 3 miles here for the final event of the Monday night top split. He's going to be joined on the podium. It's going to be a 1-2 Nicky Racing day, where it's going to be the teammates who started up front, and they're going to finish up front. Ragone's going to limp home with a P3, as you see the damage immediately on his car right there.
Rather amazing that Alexander Ragone, he's kind of pulling a Lewis Hamilton on us here at Silverstone in 2020. 3 wheels on my wagon, but I'm still going to make the finish.
Well, and this is just one of those rule things in iRacing that you have 5 laps, you have the answer, but if the race finishes within that 5 laps, you don't get the penalty. Now, if it was real racing, of course, the stewards and timing and the scoring could adjust on the fly, but not so much here. So he's going to be able to limp that car home in 3rd. Take a shout out though for Valmore Arnhart. Up 15 spots, going to finish up top 5. P4 for him. Trace Shadid, P5. Andrino Forporti, P6. Dakota DeMaid, he worked his way up to P7 along with Thomas Geisler in P8. Nick Neiman in the stream at home, P9. Good showing for him. I'm sure he'll be happy with that finish. Matthew Mercer, we were riding along and watching him battle up front as he was kind of a lap down, but he managed to get his lap back. And he is going to finish, get another top 10. We were kind of looking at his statistics for all season long, and he out of everybody on that top 25, I wouldn't say it's the most impressive stat line, but it's the most consistent stat line, and so it's consistency pays once again. If you were able to finish your races just like he is doing right here, you get those points, and doesn't matter where you finish, just matter how you finish. TJ Mashaw finishing 11. Tony Bizzarro, who was up with the leaders, and unfortunately, he was also among those that got really screwed with that late caution there with the pole sitter and Christian Hassan there on the apron in turns 1 and 2. He really got screwed. He falling to P12 lap down. Cameron Bristain, P13. Dylan Moskowitz, P14. John Silva, P15. Beto Sousa, P16. Jesper Orman's going to have to, he's not going to be happy with this at all, but he's also, it should be pointed out, Jesper is among the top 10 in the Division 1 standings, so this is really going to hurt him. He's going to want to jump back in another race and try to remove the taste of this one from his mouth. He's going to finish P17th. Pinero, he's also among those leaders as well. He'll want to jump in another one of these races, try to get a better showing. He's going to finish 18th. Chris Gilbert, 19th. Christian Hassan, P20. Jal Ritter, P21, and still rolling, which is saying a lot for him, considering that he had an early incident. And You know this guy's name better than I do. I can't say it, but here comes our winner, Pablo Diaz-Francis, across the start-finish line. But Giacomo Papalardo, he finishes 22nd. But he's going to finish the top of the list with the hardest last name to say. And as looks
the
like
two teammates giving a little love tap
little
there.
love taps going on is costing body parts off their cars. But
yeah, they're done with their chassis for this season anyway. Let them have their fun.
now, does this after the flag? Do you still get incident points counted against you?
It does until everybody crosses the line, I believe.
Okay, so I don't know if everyone crossed the line, but they were getting.
They did now, so it's good to go for now. I just don't know if it counted the next one and counted when it actually happened. So we'll see what it looks like after the server's done.
Well, let's go ahead and get one more word from Voltic Pistol, and then we will come back and take a look at the final standings and see who we have in the interview room. We'll be right back. And there are the final standings right there on your screen. I don't know if anyone's in the interview room. We'll take a look and see if anyone is. Well, we do have Dakota and Thomas. I got a PM from Dakota. Let's see what he says. He says, I think they gave us the legacy setup to race with. So I don't think he's too happy with the setup that they were given tonight. I don't.
I'd say even less so, given the opportunity that was taken away from him at the end of that race.
I see Joe Ritter. He popped in for the waiting room, but popped out. So I don't see anybody quite yet. So let's just hold off and see if anyone does pop in the moment. But we got the final standings up here on the board here. Pablo Diaz-Francis, first win since the beginning of the season here on the Monday Night Indy Split at a most needed time too. We're going to see how possibly that might impact the standings. I don't think the standings are real time. I can refresh my screen and see if anything changes. And maybe get an idea of what any of that changed. No, I don't think it has, because I'm still showing Demerit with the 1899 point lead. Pinero is in P2, Jesper Orman P3, Pablo Diaz-Francis is in P4. So that all got shooken up a little bit. In order to look this stuff up yourself, if you're curious, you can find, if you use the website UI, go to Series Stats, do IndyCar Series Oval Fixed, have all the weeks added, and look under Division 1. You'll be able to see the current standings. But right now, still shows Demerit 1899 over Pinero, 1621. Jesper Orman 1617. Pablo Diaz-Francis 1549, and Jorge Varela, who we haven't seen in a couple weeks here in the Monday Split, at 1510. That is your top five there. But tonight, your winner is Pablo Diaz-Francis, like I said, in a most needed spot, followed by his teammate Gonzalo Romero in P2, and Andre Ragon limping home a wounded bird in P3 for the final step on the podium. Your top five, Valmore Arnhart in his Monday night top split debut this season with a solid P5, got himself a P4. That's a great top five for him. Trey Shadid with another good top 10 run, and P5 himself. Right behind him for Porty, DeMade, Geisler, Neben, and Mercer make up your top 10. Mashaw, Pizarro, Baustain, Moskowitz, and Silva make up your top 15. Get to the next page here. Orman with a bit of a I'm going to say he's going to want to forget this particular race and make his way to the to the 9:15 one, I'm sure. He will finish. Actually, that
and 16th.
Yeah, and 16th. My screen's showing is finishing 17th. But Sousa, Pinero, Gilbert, Asan, Ritter, and Papalardo is your top 20 or your top 23, I believe, is who we had start 22 on this race. Actually, 22 drivers took the green flag. We had all but, let's see, 15, I think, finished on the, 11 finished on the lead lap. So all in all, not a bad day for everyone. So first of all, I know we kind of brought Steven on in a pinch hitting rule early on in the season, and everything just kind of worked out and clicked. I want to thank you for making time your Monday nights, because I also know that you have other things that you need to do with some other top split racing and some series you're in, taking time to be with us and broadcast. He will be joining us again next season when we pick this back up with season 1 of 2022. So I want to thank you, Steven. Your thoughts on tonight and the season, and any final thoughts you have before we sign off here.
Well, Texas once again served as a pretty good spot for the season finale, even if we had and even if the racing isn't quite the same as it was back in ye olden IRL days, but it's still put on a great show for us. There was a lot of strategy, a lot of hard racing, a lot of controversy as well. That was a very controversial final caution, that second to last caution, I should say, that came out. The one with Christian Hassan and Adriano Pinero seems to have been riling up quite a few people in the chat in that server. So it once again shows that we have some of the best drivers you'll see racing open wheelers on the iRacing service, and it's saying that even then they're not shy from doing things that can lead to some controversy, shall I say. But it's very much been a fantastic season, and this has been a pretty good capstone to it, and congratulations to the champion, whoever it may be. Whether it be Pablo Diaz-Francis, Adriano Pinero, or the one leading the championship as it stood going into that race, our good friend Christopher Demerit. So hopefully we'll have the results, and congratulations to the champion this season.
Yeah, concerning that incident, I've done my fair share of bonehead incidents, so we're only human. Not sure the whole story there. We only kind of see what we see through the virtual camera eye. So hopefully it was a lot more explainable than what we thought, or possibly what was presented to us. So again, we're only human, and I know some people hate to say it, but this is just a game. I know it's kind of fighting words sometimes, but we do like to have our fun.
Where you have to be made. In the words of Ilya Brizgalov.
Only game. But I do want to thank everyone for taking time to make comments. We got 6 of you watching now. I see 5 thumbs up, so we need one more person to give a thumbs up. So go ahead and we should be 6 for 6. So if you enjoyed this race and definitely like that finish, pretty exciting finish there, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. It was a thumb-worthy event for sure. I don't really have much to say other than thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks. Just stay tuned to Raceverse and the various racing Discord servers that we'll post our stuff on, the unofficial IndyCar, of course, several of the Raceverse Discord server, and several other ones around about where our coverage of season 1 of 2022. We'll start that back up again, but chances are 7:15 here in about 2 weeks, and when that schedule becomes final, probably Michigan as we're looking at as provisionally. I think that's it. So let's get on out of here and give everyone back their Monday night. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Texas is Pablo Diaz-Francis, his teammate Gonzalo Romero, and Andre Ragon, who brings home a wounded soldier there in P3, make up your podium. Join Racers again Wednesday night this week for round 1 of the Revolution IndyCar League's Schaefer's Cup IndyCar Series, coming to you from the Michigan International Raceway. We're expecting a field of about 32 cars to be fielded for that race. So 32 cars at Michigan is going to be awesome. The Revolution IndyCar League, formerly known as the Reddit IndyCar League, is probably easily one of the top 5 leagues on the service. So you might want to check that out. That is going to be a great race, and I believe that's going to be a 200 200-miler. If not, it should be a 300 based upon the competitiveness of that series. But that's going to be Wednesday, 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com at youtube.com/racefirst. So once again, hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're not easy and they require time and money to produce. We brought you coverage of this season for free out of our love of iRacing and our passion for the sport of IndyCar. If you're just as passionate as we are and would like to see Race First coverage of the Monday Night Indy Split continue again for next season, which tentatively we are, but still, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our Season 1 2022 Monday Night Indy Split Broadcast Fund. Please donate and let us know that you would like to see us return to our coverage beyond this season. We realize times are tough, and we realize this is the holidays, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and make us a part of your Monday evenings for these last 12 weeks. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please do leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of tonight's race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, and if you're new, click subscribe. While you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Race First's iRacing programming. For business inquiries and to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow me, Gary Gotso, on Twitter at Gary Gotso. So for Stephen Larkamp, Matt Houston, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gotso saying to all, happy holidays. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Thanks again, everyone. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks for the next race of the Monday Night Indy Split. Good night.